Alright guys, got the first cut here, starting to take shape. Gonna go cut the other side and then we'll pull this top off and slash her down. Alright, now that we got the top cut made, we're just gonna go and zip off the bottom and then we'll test fit the roof. And yeah, should be good. Alright guys, kind of got everything spotted into place here. And yeah, so I'll have to weld all those spots together and then do the filler and yada yada. Yeah, she's coming along pretty good. Alright guys, I think that's where I'm going to stop tonight. Got her all sitting down, all welded up. Turned out pretty good. So 6-inch channel, 6-inch chopped. Take her easy guys. Just love the look of those little mail slot windows. It looks so awesome. Got it actually sitting pretty low now too. I think once the weight of the engine gets in there and sump it down a bunch more in the front too. Give it a nice rake to it. It's all with flux core weld too. So much harder to do it with flux core. I'd like to find a decent set of fenders too. Man, would that thing look low with fenders. Ooh. Like the running boards, because they have like a splash apron and then it goes down to your running board, so it would probably make the car look like 4 or 5 inches lower. Which would probably be pretty cool too. Even got left the third hinge this time up there. Still got a couple pillars in the back to weld. You can kind of see right there and there. Got to weld those. And you can see I did a slice there. I had to do a relief cut. Just when I welded the top on, it was over a little bit, so I just cut a recess and pulled that post back and then kind of made it line up. Welded a chunk in there. And like, when you're doing a chop like this, you'll always have one side that lays down good, and then the other side, as you start taking out the slack, you know, it's like pushing out a wrinkle. And you'll have some gaps in that. Like, see, you can see a little bit of daylight right there and right there. And what I do is I just take pieces of sheet metal and just jam it in there, cut it off with a grinder, and then weld it. Okay, just turn it into molten as you're going, and then whatever's sticking out, you can just cut it off of the back, and then that's a cheap, kind of fast way to fill a big gap, because you're never going to cut these things straight unless you take like 7 days and line it all up, but I'm not about to do that. So yeah, hack her off and fill in the gaps later. This one works pretty good. I could probably save the patina on it too, so got a lot of filler work to do down here, like patch panels. The bottom of that door is, the back side of it's okay, it's just got a big hole in the front, so have to do that. And then I got to chop the other door too, put it on there, but it's coming along pretty good. Then after I get the body straight and where I want it, probably going to take this frame and take it to work where they got a good welder, and then weld in the mounts for the suspension and stuff. And then while it's there, it gives me a lot of room. I could put this body up on jack stands and get it right, you know, right nice and square, and cut out all the patches and just give me more room, because she's really really congested in here. And then I got to take out the wood too. I'm going to figure out how to do it in steel, I think, but we'll see. It's got a lot of the original wood left, but it's kind of rotten. So another thing too, when you're doing these chops, as soon as you cut the roof off, this cowl will always move back. So like what I do is I'll like put a ratchet strap from each thing, and when you're chopping the top, you set it back on, and any your end gap in here, you loose fit your door and then pull on it a little bit with a ratchet strap, get it right where you want it, and then start tacking it in. Especially like when you cut the car, because it's always going to have dents and stuff in it, so if it springs out when you do it under pressure, you're going to have to put pressure back somewhere else. So what I do is I start at the post here, and then I weld this side to the back window, and then I go to the other side. I start at that post, and then I weld this side towards the back window, and then that way it's pushing any stress out of it. And then I usually do this front half after the fact, but this one, just because of how it fit, went from the back window this way, and then I'm gonna have to like cut this a little bit here and make Van dangle it a little bit, but she'll lay in nice. I think this chop actually went nicer than that other one I just did, so yeah. After that, she'll start moving pretty quick, I think. All right, later.